How would you like to improve your health and keep your family safe? You're listening to the Healthy Home Hacks podcast, where we firmly believe enjoying optimal health shouldn't be a luxury. Healthy Home Authorities and husband and wife team Ron and Lisa will help you create a home environment that will level up your health. It's time to hear from the experts. Listen in on honest conversations and gain the best tips and advice. If you're ready to dive in and improve your well-being and increase your energy, you're in the right place. All right, here are your hosts, bowel biologists, authors, media darlings, vicarious vegans, and avocado aficionados, Ron and Lisa Veris.
This episode of Healthy Home Hacks is brought to you by Veris Residential, a forward-thinking and socially responsible real estate investment trust that provides holistically inspired, Class A multifamily properties that meet the sustainability-conscious lifestyle needs of today's residents. It's the company's mission to serve properties, people, and the planet. Veris Residential has done the work to integrate eco-friendly amenities into its properties so that you can reduce your carbon footprint simply by walking through the doors. The company's newest development, House 25 in Jersey City, features source hydro panels, an advanced renewable technology that uses solar power to extract net zero water from the air. 24 electric vehicle Blink IQ 200 charging stations, 375 bike parking spaces, Wi-Fi enabled thermostats, Energy Star appliances, and 37,000 square feet of gardens and outdoor amenities, including a green roof. Visit house25.com or verisresidential.com to learn more.
We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. That is a Native American proverb, and this couldn't be more true today. But how can we each do our part to take good care of Mother Earth? If you're a renter, this show is for you.
Did you know environmentally friendly apartments actually exist? Think of it as the convergence where sexy meets sustainability by offering residences that value property, people, and the planet. Some even offer something called green leases. From energy efficiency, conservation, and sustainability. Be sure to also stay tuned for this two-part segment because we are diving into all of the sustainable fun.
Our guest today, Karen Cusmano, has been with Veris Residential, a forward-thinking, socially responsible REIT, that's a real estate investment trust that provides a sustainable multifamily living experience for 20 years in varying capacities, from accounting to asset management to operations. And she is now Senior Vice President, Head of Sustainability and ESG, that's environmental, social, and governance, with the job of spearheading the company's ambitious sustainability goals. Today, Karen is going to shed light on what's trending in healthy multifamily living and how to find a sustainable apartment in New York, Boston, or the New Jersey area that works for you. Welcome to the show, Karen.
Hi, thank you. Great to be here.
We are so excited to have you, Karen.
Welcome, Karen. Thank you so much. This is going to be a great show. I know our listeners just want to they're chomping at the bit. So let's just dive right in. So Karen, why did Veris Residential invest in making its properties sustainable recently?
You know, we recently rebranded at the end of 2021 in December. And part of our core branding philosophy and came down from our board and our executives was, sustainability and ESG. And we were just so excited about it because as an operations team, we've always spoken about it. And then we finally found a leadership that felt that this was as important as, we know it is. And so we said, let's do this. And we know we can do it. And we have properties that are already, LEED certified and different sort of, green certifications. And we felt like this was where we were going. And the people that we were targeting and the residents and the prospects that we're targeting, we find out like 57% of them are, environmentally conscious. And then of that 57%, you could break it down. And the people that we're trying to reach now are like 24% of people, they say they want to be environmentally conscious, but they're like sustainability overwhelmed. Like, what do I do? I can't do it by myself. And we want to be there to help these people. They want to do the right thing, and we want to give them the tools to do that.
Yeah, it's interesting. And also the statistic that people are actually are dealing with climate anxiety, which is something I'd never heard of. Can you shed a little light on that?
Yeah, I mean, I saw, and it was probably like the end of October of 2020, like with COVID and stuff, but I did see a survey where people are very, and climate anxiety is like big on their mind. And 2/3 of people are concerned about climate, and we should be. I mean, with the extreme temperatures and the floods and the hurricanes and all the things that we're seeing today, it is scary.
People are. Yeah. And we've got the built environment that's responsible for 40% of the greenhouse gas emissions alone. So you guys coming in here and saying, hey, we can do better, and we want to do better, and we can make a big impact by making these changes. I think it's fantastic.
Right. And then if you think about it, households probably, a household is probably about 20% of, greenhouse gas emissions nationwide. So with us being an owner, we have about 6,400 units. So, average of 2 people per unit, that's 12,000 people that we could, help make an impact. So we're really excited.
That's amazing.
That's really exciting.
You guys, you're Ron at the top mentioned New York, Boston, New Jersey. Does that cover the areas pretty?
Yes.
Okay.
Our buildings some of them are, waterfront.
Yeah. Right. When I said sexy meets sustainability.
Yes.
That's true.
When you guys head to the link, which is Veris Residential, I'll just tell you right now, verisresidential.com, and I'll put the links in the show notes. The units will surprise you how beautiful they are, because sometimes there's a connotation with, oh, it's green or it's LEED, or maybe not LEED, but if it's a green certified, that crunchy granola, we're going to be, making sacrifices, and that it's not going to be this like beautiful high end kind of looking place.
And it is. It really is.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. Yeah.
So Karen, I'm curious. So when a renter's looking for a sustainable multifamily home, what is the first step?
I would say that, any landlord that is, doing the green certifications and have a green building there, they love to advertise it, right? So, you will see that. You will see whether they have stickers on their doors as soon as you walk in, Energy Star certified or, well building. It is well advertised. I mean, we are very proud of all of the certifications that we do. And it's hard work. It's there, everything we do is certified by third parties. So it's not like you fill out a list and go check, yeah, get it,
Right.
It is very, third party, I'm certified, all of these type of things. And, I was a renter. And if this is what you're looking for, I would ask about these things. Can you show me your certifications if you haven't already seen it displayed everywhere you've walked into the building already? But yes, there are, definitely all those certifications and things that people should look for.
Yeah.
And Karen, you're in such a unique position because you've actually had so many different roles at your organization. And so so many different ways to think about and unravel this onion, right? Because there's a lot of layers to it. I'm really glad to have you today to shed some light on some of these things too, because you can feel your passion, and you can also feel the fact that you know what you're talking about, right? You know how to really address this issue and make it easier for people to enter a dwelling and know they're making a difference by making sure they're in a sustainable environment.
That walks the talk. Like you said.
Ron, I really appreciate you saying that, because I am like that average person now, because I was, I started out with an accounting degree. I, was in ops. I was in asset management, operations and asset management. Sustainability. We talk about how much is our utility bill, things like that. So now they said, with all of your broad knowledge of the company, sustainability, how it affects our financials, and you know how it affects our operations team. So I just had to go out and learn all of this stuff in the last year, and then it's out there. The information is there if you want to. And, I'm just like a sponge. I'm just absorbing. So 2 years ago, honestly, Did I know as much as I know now? No. So anyone
And you're
can
so
do it.
honest, Karen. Very honest too.
It's never too late. It's never too late to learn.
It's never too late.
Yeah. And I did want to kind of touch upon those certifications that you were mentioning, because I think a lot of people are familiar with LEED from the U.S. Green Building Council, and they have varying degrees. But there's also the Energy Star certification, which we all know with appliances, but these can actually be applied to buildings, and you guys are multi-housing structures. So that's great. And then National Green Building Standard for home renovation. That's another one that you also have.
Yeah. So Energy Star is basically, it's like a benchmarking platform, which is great. So, and it measures the, energy efficiency of your buildings, and then actually benchmarks compared to other buildings. So we recently received Energy Score for, two of our buildings in Boston, and we got a 98 on one and a 95 on another. That means that our buildings are 98 more efficient than any other in our multifamily category. It's very hard for multifamily buildings to get Energy Star because in most of our buildings, we do not have the data. The residents actually pay their own bills.
Right.
So to get Energy Star, you have to have the whole building's usage. So we had to work with the utility provider in Boston. There is BERDO there, which is an ordinance where you have to show your usage. So because our buildings are in that area and we do submit to BERDO, the utility provider had to give us the data.
Oh, okay.
So
I was going to say, how did you get it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's private. We don't get to see so they will give us the total. They'll say that your residents use this many kilowatt hours, then we add it to our usage and we know what our building's using. And then an engineer has to come in and third party authenticate the data. So it's really, we were really excited because, everyone's like, you can't get it for multifamily. You can't get it. I'm like, yes, you can. Wow. If you can get the data. So we pushed and now we're pushing to get it in Con Ed. Our New York building is supposed to supply us that data. So we're going to try to get Energy Star for that building. And
is that earned because you have Energy Star appliances in the units, or is that because people are, limiting and watching their usage themselves, or is it both?
It is both. I mean, so by having Energy Star appliances, you are lowering, the amount of energy you're using at the building. So they look at, per square foot, how big the building is and how much energy you're using. So it's, we'll look for energy efficient, air conditioning systems. And we put set points on our thermostats, and, in our common areas, we have the smart thermostats. So we make sure that we keep them at a good set point, and our maintenance guys can actually go on their phone and lower temperatures and things. Wow. So it's really about how efficiently the whole building's running. So what the residents are using, how well they're doing with their smart apartments and things that they're doing. And then what we're doing, with the major, building systems and having them efficient.
That's great. Really great job on that. So what if a consumer wants to dig deeper into a company, say Veris Residential sustainability performance? How would they do that?
I would say the first place I would go is to their, I call it the ESG report, which is the environmental social governance report, or they call it a CSR report, corporate social responsibility. And most of these companies, that are owning, our residential, that will post that. So you can go on there. It's a great read. I find it exciting. It's probably boring to some people, but ours is on there, and ours, we have like an interactive, like you could click on what you want to see. Like if you want to see our people, you click to the people. It's very interactive, our ESG report. So it's, if you go to our website, and all, big companies that have these sustainability, frameworks and goals would hope that they would have an ESG or a CSR report that they publish. So
on the website, typically,
usually you just go to their website. I go there and I read everybody's. So it sounds so boring.
Who needs
so you're competitive,
tabloids?
Karen. So Karen, you're looking at the competition.
Always. We talk about this all the time as a company. We're all in this together. So I want someone to go and read Veris Residential's ESG report and go, holy cow, look what they're doing.
Yeah.
I want to do that too. And then I want to look at theirs and go, wow, they're doing that now. It's like, it's a marathon, right? We're all in this, and I want you to beat me so that I could beat you the next time. And then together we're making an impact. So I look at it as, great, competition for the good of everybody.
Yeah, raising the bar. Raising the bar for others, because there's a green cleaning company, you probably heard of them, Ecos, and we've had them on the show and toured their factories, and they turned all their factories across the country and like fully solar, and they just do so much in the sustainability factor, in addition to making non-toxic plant-based cleaners that have the EPA certification and all of that. Right. But the CEO, she goes and speaks all around, and she says the same thing. Like, I want everyone to follow suit. I want this to be, inspiring for other companies, not like, oh, you're doing that. And, it's a competition, but rather, how can we like lift each other up and inspire and empower?
It's interesting you say that, because I was recently, I joined like a group with the National Minority Supplier Development Council, and we work with suppliers. And when we got onto this group, someone said to me, "Are we going to sign an NDA?" And I'm like, "Really? Like, I want to. I think we should be sharing. If you're using a good vendor, that like, to not be able to disclose what each other's doing was like, I was like, that's kind of defeats the purpose of what we're doing. Like, I want to, we should be sharing and not be afraid to, speak up and go ahead, do what I'm doing, then I'll do better."
Yeah. There's room for everyone. Yeah, there really is.
I know there were some highlights too recently with the company, right? Wasn't there something in 2021 where something in regards to greenhouse gas emissions that you guys achieved and had amazing accolades in regarding that issue?
Yeah. I mean, we used 2019 as our benchmark year, or baseline year, you would call it. And we've, since 2019, when we published our 2021 ESG report, we've reduced our greenhouse gas emissions by 34% since 2019.
Crazy. Yeah.
So we're really excited about that. We have the Science-Based Target Initiative, where we've committed to 50% reduction by 2030. So we're really excited. We feel like we're getting close to that. And, and then we've also, on top of greenhouse gas emissions, I also want to see our energy reduction go down. So we are seeing our just energy usage go down. Mm-hmm. And, it's really exciting.
You have 100% of the residential portfolio electricity from renewable resources, correct? I mean, that's really important.
So we, not the residents. So obviously, like I said, we control the common areas. So so we actually went out and, did buy renewable energy credits for all of that usage.
The common spaces. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really, this is the first year we did that in 2021. So we were really excited about that. Mm-hmm.
That's
and we'll continue. Like buying renewable energy credits, people will say, well, if you have money, you can buy it. So that's not just what we want to do. We want to make sure energy reduction and efficiencies are on the forefront of what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And then what's left, to get to where we will buy, but I don't want to, and we don't want to rely on just, buying things. We want to make sure that we are actually getting the efficiencies and the reductions. So therefore each year we have to buy less and less, maybe do some on-site renewable. And we're always looking for new ways to reduce our, create an impact and lower our, usage.
Well, that's excellent. One thing I heard too was that Veris Residential also submitted properties for the WELL health safety rating. What is that? Our listeners want to know.
Yeah, WELL is really exciting. So the WELL health safety rating, in the name, you kind of can gather some information on what it is. And so basically WELL is an independent party, again, who, will certify things through a third party, things that you do at your building. And there's I want to say over 20 different facets of the building they look at, from water quality to air quality to, energy efficiency, all different, even your policies, how you treat your employees and pay and time off. And to get the rating, you have to at least hit 15 of these, about, I want to say a little over 20 different things. You have to hit 15 of them to get the rating. So last year we went through all of the buildings that we own 100%. And we went through and did this, and we're like, wow, we have this, and they do audit some of it. So they actually, need to see pictures to prove that you're able to open windows and let, air come in, natural light. It's all these different things that they test. And, emergency, like if we can, get people, our emergency responsiveness and vaccinate, all different things. And, so to show that the building clean products and using green cleaning products and things like that. That was one of those certifications that we got. So, yeah. And
things that you don't even think about, like comfort, like, the sound and the lighting and the community, right? I know that that's a big area for you guys, the green roofs, the beautiful community spaces, so many parts that, kind of an umbrella that encompasses what it really means to live healthy and well. It's not just, all the green stuff is great, but it's also like the well-being of the occupants. So I think that's really,
and it feels great to, like, you realize that we've been doing all this, and we go through the checklist, like, well, we're doing this, and you start, and what's also is great about doing all these type of certifications, and you learn other things that you could do. Like, we got 15, but we probably could get 18 if we just do this, and if we just do this. So this year we're adding, air quality and water quality testing. We're going to do at our buildings. Like, it's important, and residents might want to know, and so we're going to put that in. So as we do all these certifications, we're learning things that we could do to even be better and to step up our game.
Yeah, I think I heard you have good air filtration too, like the good MERV ratings and all of that. Yeah, that's really important.
That's part of it too. Yeah,
so important.
We take these certifications for granted, right? These third-party certifications, but it's very difficult to achieve these. And you've actually put yourself to the fire by doing multiple certifications, not just for sustainability, but also for the health of the occupant. Like Lisa said, I mean, it's not just, checking the box, it's living it. And you really have to do it to get these organizations to back and certify what you're doing. So hats off to you, Karen. You're leading a great charge.
Does every property have that health and safety rating?
So all of our wholly owned buildings, so we actually have like 4 buildings that we're joint venture partners in. Okay. But this year we are reaching out to our joint venture partners, and they're excited about it too. And they're like, yes, let's do it.
Oh, that's
so cool. We're going to add it to our joint venture buildings also. But currently it's the buildings that we own 100% of. And then we're going to be adding our 4.
Nice.
And then we're actually going to add our new building, House 25, that we just came, on.
Yeah. Check out the pictures of those guys. That's a stunning property. I know. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I know you don't consider the properties like a luxury, but really when you look at that, you're like, yeah, that's pretty luxurious. But livable kind of, not,
right.
not like you can't touch anything.
You wouldn't even know it's happening.
Yeah.
You do. You can tell that there's certain things that when you're in there, you're like,
I know. I'd love to see it in person. So Veris recently started adding something called a green lease for its residents. Can you explain to our listeners, Karen, what that is?
So I would say a green lease, we call it our sustainable living addendum to the lease. It's really just, we encourage our residents. So it's like a whole section that really encourages them and gives them areas that they can think about regarding energy efficiency, water efficiency, waste, and, just the indoor environment. So, we encourage them, we actually did add in our House 25 lease, which we thought was really courageous and, ambitious. We actually added a set point to their thermostat. So like the EPA and says that you could apartment in the summer, in the winter 68 is an okay temperature in the winter, and the summer 78. That's what they say is okay. So we added in our lease at this House 25, 70 degrees in the winter. And we can actually see that because it's a smart thermostat. It's connected to us. So we could see if a resident is going higher, and people signed the lease. And that was really exciting to us. Like, we were concerned, were people going to say, don't tell me how hot it should be when I want it to be 75. And I'm paying the bill.
Right.
But people signed the lease, and it was just so exciting. We are going through our first winter right now, so hopefully
get those blankets. No.
So we're hoping that the 70 we don't get pushback, but we'll revisit it if comfort,
People
humidity levels,
complain
comfort,
and say
right.
that was unbearable. So
Yeah.
it's kind of an honor system. Like you can see that someone's raising it. What happens? Nothing. You're not going to like give them a warning or argue.
Yeah. I mean, so I think we said at the beginning, people are learning. It's all about awareness and education. And, so the lease was the starting point. Like, here you go, you're moving into our building. These are our expectations. It aligns with how we operate our business. And we hope that you want to be part of this. So, it's definitely something to educate and make them aware of these little things that you can do.
Right.
And not realize how much of an impact it will make.
Right. So when they sign the lease, they're like verbally agreeing. Yeah, we're on board with that. Right. Was that kind of?
And we have great facts. I mean, and this is all about the learning is like water efficiency. Like you can, when you're brushing your teeth, if you don't, like people leave the water on.
Yeah. It's crazy.
We don't, Karen. We don't do
that. But exactly. So actually I was talking to someone that says, well, if you're on the West Coast, you're more conscious of water. And yes, the 70% of our world is water, but 1% of it is drinkable. And people just take that for granted. So use about 4 gallons of water when you're brushing your teeth. So say you do it twice a day, you could use like 3,000 gallons of water if you don't shut it off.
Yeah.
Little things like that. And you send out blips to our residents when we say about, water efficiency. We mention that when you're shaving or brushing your teeth, and we give them these little fun facts that are like absorbable, micro fun facts. And I really think when people look at that, wow, like I never realized that, how much water I am wasting.
Oh, right. And it's not like something like that, especially, it's not an inconvenience. It's that we kind of really weren't taught from the beginning that you should do that. Because I remember when I first discovered that, shut off the water when you're brushing your teeth. Now it seems so wasteful. Like, why would you ever just want it running? And you kind of just, like you said, becoming more consciously aware of all of the things, waste and all of that, which I know we're going to get into in part 2, a little more on that. But yeah, so I think that's super cool. And it's like a community. And so it feels like you guys are working together with the residents, not like we're here dictating to you, but like, hey, let's talk about this together. Is this working for everybody? So that's really
I'm curious, what does it work like too? Let's say 1 month you weren't so good, right? And for whatever reason, you had more energy use than the other month, but the next month you didn't, and you had a good month. Does it offset itself, or how do you work with someone that has a green lease that way? Because right now in California, for example, when you have electrical usage with SoCal Edison, for example, it will tell you what tier you're in and if you're being efficient enough with that or not, right? And then if you happen to peak or something by accident or whatever to a different category, there's an additional charge. Is it kind of the same concept, or is that completely different?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, in New Jersey and New York, where we own buildings, the residents pay directly. So we don't even know what they're using. We got a little crafty about that, though. We've added maybe like a sensor or like a reader on the feeds that actually go to our residents. So I won't know which space it is, but we get data on, whoops, it's in the red, something's going on. So at this point, we really can't pinpoint which resident it is. But then we can up our communication. Like if we notice, wait, something's going on at this building constantly at 2 p.m. Can you send something out? But right now we do not have that transparency into each unit's usage. It'll be nice to have that someday, maybe if we could pay the bills ourselves, but who knows, we're trying to think of creative ways around that. But right now we don't have that transparency other than, if we look at it as a whole on our resident usage. So it's tough.
Yeah. I guess just, if you take anything away, it's just that conscious awareness. Here, we're on the West Coast seeing just crazy spikes in the electricity bills and all of this. And everybody's become a little more consciously aware, people that weren't at all before. So there's, like you said, there's just simple things we can do. Obviously the big energy hogs, that we pretty much know are the dryer, the refrigerator, right? These are like the big ones. So like choosing the times, the non-peak times to be using some of those appliances, things like that, just kind of rescheduling a little bit.
without feeling inconvenienced.
We do. I mean, we have that at one of our buildings that's in Con Ed in New York, which is great. We have a program called Grid Rewards. So our residents actually can sign up and they will actually get paid if they'll get any, like one of my community managers, he said, the other day I was out and my girlfriend is in the apartment and I got a notice. Don't wash your dishes now because it's a demand response and the grid is dirty now and do it later. So he's texting her, hey, don't use your dishwasher now. Like something that convenient. And we're hoping that's supposed to be coming to New Jersey once New Jersey gets better with having interval meters where you could actually see the time of day when the grid is using the most. But that's so exciting, just having an app telling you, don't do your dishes now, or don't, do your laundry, to do it later. And I think on average, what we've heard is people are getting back $100 check at the end of the year. So, hey, you're doing something good and you're getting $100 check just by changing, modifying behavior.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think rewards, incentives are really great, right? I mean, you get solar and you get, people are getting money back, you know, they're literally not paying a penny. They're actually getting money back. So it's really, really cool. And you guys have something, the hydro panels, do you want to just talk really quick about those? They're really incredible.
I love that. So they're the hydro panels that we have we have them in New York right now. We're also putting them in the House 25, our new development. But they are net zero water, creating water net zero. So literally we have the panels are on our roof and they work by solar, and it has a little fan that actually just pulls air in and absorbs the moisture out of the air through the sink and creates drinking water out of the air.
It's incredible.
It is crazy. So
crazy.
It is crazy. And we have it set up so that the water that's collected goes into our water fountains in our gym. So people can go and we have 15 panels on our roof, and each panel does about little over 1.2 gallons of water a day. So we get about 20 gallons of water. Wow. Obviously weather permitting, when it gets colder, it's not going to be as good. So we have to get through the winter and see,
right.
And then they'll just, our residents, and they go with their bottles underneath the, fountain in the gym, and they're having water, and it's mineralized. Like people New York air, it's mineralized.
I was going to say, is there a filtration system between there to there?
They mineralize it to, take care of it and filter it. And then, I had her marketing went out and she drank it and she said it was lovely. So
wow. So it's not it can only be used on plants. It's actually drinkable. That's amazing.
I mean, it really, and the company that is doing this really does want the water to be, to be drinkable water.
Yeah.
Because they want it to be a solution, like in countries where there are issues with water. So to be able to create water out of air, like literally. In a desert,
like the saying, creating it out of thin air. No,
exactly. It literally is.
Next time they'll be making money. They'll be printing.
So these will be on every California home or Arizona home in the world, right? Actually, every home, right in the state.
Arizona.
Yeah.
The drought. Well, there's actually 29 states right now in a drought situation. That was literally a stat from just last week, because we interviewed a landscaper here in Southern California who does native landscaping, which is really, really interesting. It's basically people always think it's just like a cactus or something when they hear native, but native is really what's native to where your region. So wherever you live, the plants that naturally grow there. And here we're in a Mediterranean climate in Southern California. So these plants are very green, but they require very, very little water. So she'll come in and take over people's turf, right? Because it's just a water hog to have lawn, and put in beautiful native landscaping. She might keep a little bit of grass if they need it for their pet or whatever, or kids, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So
it's funny you talk about that. We've dabbled in what we're called our clover lawns now.
So I heard about that. She actually mentioned that. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, so you just mentioned the dogs. Many of our residents, we're pet friendly. So many of our residents have their dogs that always find that one spot in front of the building where everyone's walking in that they just seem to love. So it doesn't look very nice. And we're constantly replanting and trying to figure out solutions. So one of our community managers said, I've tried clover lawns at my house. Let's try it. And we're loving the way it looks. It uses less water. So we're able to turn off the irrigation there, which, we do have this smart rain system that does help us with, lowering our irrigation as it is. But, it's very, it's not turning colors when the, pets are out there.
Yeah.
So, we're always piloting, fun different things.
That's
Karen, what does it look like with a
little clover?
It's, and you could still we don't have to mow it as much. So operationally, and when you mow it, it really does look good.
Yeah, because it's dark, right? It's kind of like a dark.
Like that nice dark green. Yeah,
it
looks good. And you can mow it, like I said, but not as much. And so you're saving other ways.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to start a trend. And then we just had an ESG camp, what we call, with all our operations team came in and everyone was like, I want to try it at my building now. So we'll see. Right. Maybe we'll have clover lawns throughout.
Amazing.
And then obviously in the winter, it doesn't matter because there's snow on it typically, right?
Yeah,
but, but does it go like regular grass that turns brown?
It'll be dormant in the winter. Again, this is our first winter going through it. So we're excited. I feel like I keep saying that, but we're hoping that it's going to come back nicely.
We'll do a follow-up, Karen.
Yeah.
How the clover lawns.
We want a picture of the lawn, Karen, right now. Before and after. Okay.
Put it in the show notes. Oh my gosh.
Karen, thank you for being with us, from inspiring their residents and invigorating their neighborhoods to sustaining our planet. Veris Residential offers sustainability conscious people places that deliver an unrivaled lifestyle experience, boasting amenities that support well-being and invite interaction with connections to community.
Friends, you can learn more about Veris Residential and use their property locator tool to find the greenest rental property on the block at Veris, that's Veris residential.com. And we will have all the links in the show notes at ronandlisa.com/podcast. Stay tuned next week, friends, for part 2 of this exciting conversation. We'll be talking eco-friendly amenities, a walker's paradise, biodiversity, green roofs, and so much more. Get ready to up-level your health and heal our planet. And we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
This episode of the Healthy Home Hacks podcast has ended, but be sure to subscribe for more healthy living strategies and tactics to help you create the healthy home you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best content. See you on the next episode.